Okay.
All right.
Sure.
I'm here with Gary Tanguay of Comcast Sportsnet, and he is a very well-known sports broadcast journalist. And I'm just here to ask you a few questions today about how TV revolutionized sports. And the first one is, how do you think that television has revolutionized participation in sports, and why?
Well, first of all, I think that when you have the ability to watch sports from different parts of the country, you get exposed to many different types of sports that you may not be able to see locally. I mean, for example, I come from a small town in Maine. We did not have a professional football team, so I would watch the Patriots, or I would watch, we would watch some of the national broadcasts where I'd see the Giants play or the Cowboys play. And when you go out and you play, when you're kids, you sit there and you say, I'm Steve Grogan, or I'm Roger Staubach, or, because I didn't live in Boston, or I couldn't go see the games in person, television brought the games into my home. And especially with basketball. I mean, basketball, I remember when Tommy Heinsohn was coaching, the Celtics, and then I was fortunate enough to end up working with him. I didn't have the opportunity to go see the Boston Celtics until I was like 15 years old. But I had a chance when I was younger to watch all their games on television. Also, I think that television brings other games from other parts of the world. For example, like soccer, that really in this country hasn't caught on, and I'm not sure if it's going to ever catch on the way people want it to. But nonetheless, you have a lot of kids that play soccer. And now because of television, they're able to watch the best soccer players in the world in the World Cup, or in the Olympics, or in some of the European leagues.
Yeah, all right. And the second question I have for you is, without the convenience of watching sports on television, do you think that the number of spectators at the games physically would be the same that it is today?
I don't think the sports would be nearly as popular. But no, but you would have the same emotional investment. I know that you could listen to baseball games on the radio before television became the dominant medium, and I think that might have helped people go to games or inspired people to go to games, but if you didn't have television, I don't think you'd have people interested in the NFL the way they are, or the NBA, because they wouldn't see the product. I mean, television's the big tease, and I'll tell you, television has hurt, excuse me, television has hurt some of the attendance in the NFL because the TV product is so good. See, initially when television came about and was invented and it became part of our culture, it helped market and it helped sell the sport. So people they'd see it on TV and they'd want to go. Especially if it's black and white. You watch it in black and white, it's fuzzy, and hey, I want to see this in person. I want to see what it really looks like. Now when you look at NFL games, and with the way technology is so great that, why do I want to freeze my, bippy off at Foxborough when I can watch the game on my couch at home?
All right. Third question I have for you is, if there were no television rights, how would the profits of sport organizations and leagues and associations be affected?
Well, players wouldn't be making the money they are. Before television came into play, if you played Major League Baseball, you also had a job. And even when Tommy played with the Celtics in the 60s, in the off-season, he had a job. He was in insurance. And I know baseball players like Rico Petrocelli. He owned a couple of gas stations, and players did not live off their salaries alone. But when television rights came into play and people just couldn't get enough sports, and the price for the rights went up and up and up, and the players started making more money, they could dedicate themselves full-time to the sport. So I think the players have become more athletic. I think they've become better. They've become stronger. They become faster. And it's not just because of PEDs, and I know that's a whole other controversy, but it's because they train year-round. Back in the 60s and 70s, they never trained year-round. They showed up for spring training to get in shape. Now players show up at spring training already in shape. So I think television and the rights, that has made the teams better. It's made the stadiums better. It's made the product better.